In the verdant land of Manipur, a region graced by nature's beauty, profound darkness looms, casting a long and harrowing shadow. For decades, this land has been embroiled in a cycle of violence, born from deep-rooted socio-political grievances, ethnic tensions, and a struggle for identity. The legacy of conflicts continue to reverberate through the hills and valleys, teaching scars that refuse to heal. In this video, we'll delve into the heart-wrenching reality of the ongoing violence in Manipur. This video is divided into 3 chapters. Firstly, we will delve into the history of Manipur, its ethnic tensions, and a decade-long fault line between various hill-based and valley-based communities. Secondly, we will take a look at the brief timeline of what has been happening in the state, the root cause of the outbreak of violence, the distressing viral video of naked Kuki women, insurgent groups, the religious angle, shameful India media coverage, and silence of central and state government of India on Manipur issue. Finally, we'll discuss how to solve the Manipur crisis. Let's start from the very beginning. Back in the 8th century BC, Kuki tribe originally belonged to the Israeli Jewish tribe who migrated from Assyrian regions to Afghanistan, China, and then around 3rd BC migrated to Chin state in Myanmar and began to live there with various tribes including Zomi tribe, ethno-historical Mongolian origin, who was there from 4th century BC. Around 5th century BC, Naga originally belonged to Qiang, Chinese ethnic tribe, and migrated from present-day China to the village of Makrai Rubu, presently located in Senapati district of Manipur, and spread in different parts of northeast India. Around 33 AD, Meiteis in historical records suggested that the Meiteis are of Mongolian origin, migrated from present-day China and settled in the Korbu Hills, presently located in Kangpokpi district of Manipur. At that period, Nongda Larin Pakhimba was the first Meitei monarch of the Ningthouja dynasty, founder of the kingdom of Kangle Pak, concentrated along the central plains of modern-day Manipur. Moving ahead in time, during the 14th-15th century AD, regular clashes between Nagas and Meiteis were very violent. So then their Ningthouja dynasty king Khakemba for the first time invited Zomi tribe from Chin regions to live in the border regions between Nagas and Meiteis to act as demographic buffers from the Nagas' raid. It was the first major migration of Kuki in the presently Manipur state, which declined the tension between Nagas and Meiteis considerably. Now let's go ahead in time around the 18th century AD. At that period, the king of Kangle Pak was Bhamiba, the greatest king in Manipur history. Till that period in time, Sana Mahism was the ancient polytheistic, indigenous, animistic ethnic religion of the Meitei people, until Shantidas Adhikari, a Hindu preacher from Saili, had converted the Meitei king Bhamiba to Hinduism in the 17th century AD. After that, under the influence of Shantidas in 709, he changed his kingdom name Kangle Pak to the Sanskrit word Manipur, Mani which means jewel and Pura which means land. Thus, Manipur may be translated as jeweled land. The king then in 710 changed his name to Arabic origin name Garib Nawaz and declared his kingdom religion as Hinduism. The greatest king of Manipur, Garib Nawaz, was quite successful to take control of the kingdom of Burma with his statecraft skills. He took control over some parts of Burma, present-day Myanmar, including Chin state, so the Kuki tribe migrated to Manipur as they were semi-nomadic. It is marked as the second migration of Kuki people in Manipur. Now let's move ahead in the history to 19th century AD. Here we find the story of three princes, of the Ningthojia dynasty, Morjit Singh, Chaurajit Singh and Gambhir Singh, a civil war broke out among the Manipuri princes for the throne. Taking this opportunity, in 1819, Manipur was invaded and ruled by the Burmese king Bagidao. The tribe of Manipur kingdom for safety moved to the neighboring state. So today, the population of Manipur is not restricted to Manipur only. After Manipur, the Burmese also conquered Assam in 1822. It was bad news for East India Company, which was ruling Bengal province at that period. In 1824, Gambhir Singh asked the Britishers for help. Strategically, Manipur location was very important for the Britishers, so they agreed to fight against the Burmese under the agreement that Manipur will be a princely state under British India. So begins the First Anglo-Burmese War from 5th March 1824. Gambhir Singh also sent 500 group of army called Manipuri Levy. The wars between the two expanding empires lasted for 2 years. Finally, the Britishers defeated the Burmese on 24 February 1826, one of the most expensive wars in British India history. The period from 1819 to 1826, 7 years of devastation, is known as Chahi Tarik Kuntakpa. The Britishers declared Manipur a princely state under King Gambhir Singh and began to rule in the plains of Manipur, excluding the hills because performing economic activities and controlling tribes in the hills was hard. So for the first time, Britishers indirectly separated hills from plains. The Nagas used to raid Manipur, so the Britishers invited the Kuki tribe from Chin state to protect the valley from plunder by acting as a buffer between the Meiteis and Naga, which is another major migration of the Kuki tribe in Manipur. In 1873, Britishers passed the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act, under which the whole of Manipur was under protection area, so all the tribes in Manipur fall under the ST category, including Meiteis at that period. Now let's come to the 20th century, when the king of Manipur was Maharaja Churachandra Singh. History was being written in other parts of the world. As we all know, it was the period of the First World War. So around 1917, the Britishers called for 2,000 labor corps from Manipur. The Meitei king decided to send Kukis, but Kukis refused and instead declared war against the British, known as the Anglo-Kuki War, from 1917 to 1919. After 2 years, British was quite successful to suppress Kukis. Around this period, Christian missionaries came to the hills of Manipur and popularized Christianity. So currently, most of the hills tribe are Christian. As the king of Manipur was Hindu, so most Meiteis are Hindu. Now let's fast forward in time and come to the important year 1947, when the British left India. At that period, Bodh Chandra Singh was king of Manipur. Just 1 month before the independence, he passed Manipur State Constitution Act 1947 on 26 July 1947 and even decided to hold an election. The British used to rule India in 2 ways. Number 1, Crown rule, directly administered by the British Crown. Secondly, princely state. The British did not directly administrate, but with the help of the king. When India got freedom, there was an agreement that the place directly administered by the British Crown will be under the direct control of India, but only defense, external affairs and communication of the princely state will be administered by the government of independent India. The Indian government rejected the Manipur State Constitution Act of 1947. In 1949, Indian government kept Bodh Chandra Singh on house arrest while he was on visit to Shillong and forced him to sign a merger agreement with India on 27 September 1949, after which Manipur became Parsi state of India from 15 October 1947, which was administered by the President of India through the Chief Commissioner. In 1956, Manipur became a union territory. In 1960, India released the Land Revenue and Land Reforms Act, under which it was understood that the Valley of Manipur was excluded from the protected area of Manipur. Section 158 of this act restricted the non-tribal from directly purchasing tribal land. In 1965, a local committee was set up to decide the category. According to this, Valley Meiteis were under SC/OBC category, and Hills, Nagas and Kukis were under the ST category, which was notified by President under Article 342 of the Indian Constitution. Even at this period, people believed that the merger of Manipur was illegal, which led to the emergence of various insurgent groups in Manipur, like the National Socialist Council of Nagaland, which demanded a separate country called Greater Nagaland. Kuki's National Army demanded a separate state called Kuki Land within India. In 1971, the Manipur Hill Area District Council Act 1971 was passed by the Parliament to establish 6 autonomous district councils. In 1972, Manipur became a full-fledged state of India with 6 ADCs under Article 371C. Around 1974, the demand for the inclusion of hills of Manipur in the 6th schedule started. In 1970, the government declared Manipur as a disturbed area and all separatist organization unlawful. So the government imposed ATSUM, Armed Forces Special Power Act, under which the whole administration will be looked after by the military. Numerous insurgent groups were active in Manipur towards the end of 20th century. At the beginning of the 21st century, the government tried to maintain peace through different ways, which was a failure. Around 2001, when the government tried to talk with Nagas, there was an eruption of an upsurge among the Meiteis. Similar instances were witnessed when government talked to one insurgent group and the other groups would rise against it. In 2006, recognition of Forest Act was passed, as in 1960, Hills of Manipur was declared a protected area. There comes a question: how can tribal live in the hills of Manipur? Section 4 of this act gives them the right. In 2006, draft national tribal policy was also introduced to promote tribal people in mainstream India without destroying their culture and protecting them. One of the measures of this policy was inner line permit, which has been adopted right now in Nagaland, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh and Manipur. Now comes the year 2008. To end violence and imbalance in Manipur, a tripartite agreement was signed between 25 Kuki's insurgent groups, the Indian Army and UPA, leading the central government to temporarily suspend Kuki's operation and give the Indian government a chance. This suspension of Operation Pact was signed on August 22, 2008. In 2006, a draft of National Tribal Policy Measure Inner Line Permit implemented in Manipur was protested by Meiteis. So in 2015, the Congress government, which was in power, passed the Protection of Manipur People Bills 2015 on listening to the demand of protesters, which was criticized by Kukis. With this bill, including other 2 bills, the Inner Line Permit was effectively implemented in Manipur, which was later on replaced by the new version of bill in 2018 when BJP's new government was in power. After the 2015 bill was rejected by then President Pranab Mukherjee on 2016, the IPL system came into effect in Manipur on January 1, 2020. IPL is a document that other states of Indian people must have to visit the state. Since 2012, there is a continuous demand by the Scheduled Tribe Demand Committee of Manipur for Meitei ST status. In 2021, 20 MLAs of Manipur Hills sent a draft bill, the Manipur Hill Area Autonomous District Council Bill 2021, or ADC's bills to strengthen HCA Hill Area Council, which sought to amend the 1971 District Councils Act. The state government completely ignored it. This is the complete history of Manipur, which we are going to encounter when we try to understand the reason behind the recent ongoing violence in Manipur. Now let's talk about a brief timeline of what has been happening in the state and the root cause of the outbreak of violence in Manipur. Timeline of events: 20th February 2023. Under the provision of Section 29 of the Indian Forest Act 1927, the Manipur state government organized eviction drive against illegal encroachers with proper notice by the DFO of the region to the village chief, which was a Kuki populated Kesangjong village, and even a church was destroyed. So some look upon it from a religious angle or anti-Christian sentiments, which is completely baseless, as we can find that Meiteis are the first to accept Christianity, as its land issue says Ram Madhav.
It's all about land.
Question arises about why the eviction drive is being conducted. The number one reason is to stop illegal migration. The increasing population on hills was recorded as unnatural. Due to illegal immigrants from Myanmar, most of them are Kuki, so they easily get mixed up with Indian Kukis. The immigrants from Myanmar can easily enter Manipur, as Manipur shares an unfenced border of 400 km with Myanmar, and also due to the free movement regime signed between India and Myanmar in 1949, according to which tribes residing along the border can travel 16 kilometers across the border. Myanmar is a very unstable country. The people of Myanmar come to shelter in hills of Manipur. The number two reason is to stop poppy cultivation. The Manipur lies close to the Golden Triangle, which is the second largest opium producer and covers an area of Myanmar, Thailand and Laos. The cultivation of poppies in Manipur especially was concentrated on the hills of Manipur. March 10. As in 2008, suspension of operation was signed, but the BJP decided to draw two insurgent groups, Kuki National Army and Jumi Revolutionary Army, for vandalizing the venue where the CM N. Biren Singh was to attend a program on New Lakhma in Churachandpur district, which turned the issue more violent. March 27. The Manipur High Court issues an order on a petition filed by the Manipur Tribes Union, directing the state government to consider the demand for including Meiteis in the scheduled tribe ST list within a month, since they were demanding from 2012. The question arises why they are demanding ST status, as 53% of Manipur population is concentrated in valley, basically Meiteis, and only 47% of the population is hill tribes. If we look at the map of Manipur, valley is 10% of the Manipur total land area and 90% is hill regions. The Meiteis cannot purchase land in hill tribal areas. They will be able to purchase land only if included in ST status. On the other hand, hill tribes counter the argument by saying that valley Meiteis are already well developed, educated, financially good, and have already given OBC and SC status. The total 60 MLA seats in Manipur has 40 legislators from the valley. If ST status will be given to the Meiteis, the hill people will lose their identity. 27 April. Protester escalates as the open gym in Churachandpur was said to be inaugurated by CM Biren Singh the next day. They expressed their frustration over the government perceived indifference to their petitions concerning the eviction drive in reserve forest area affecting farmers and tribal communities. April 28. CM Biren Singh visit to Churachandpur faces disruption as tribal groups call for a 12-hour shutdown to protest the state government survey on reserved forest and the eviction of villagers. Clashes between protesters and security forces occur, leading to the imposition of Section 144 and 5-day suspension of internet services. May 3rd. The Tribal Solidarity March, organized by the All Tribal Student Union of Manipur, witnessed a massive turnout of over 60,000 people protesting the inclusion of Meiteis in the ST category. Violent erupts during the rally in Churachandpur, Torbong area, resulting in numerous casualties. May 4. The situation worsened with reports of brutal violence including the burning of villages, mob lynching and rapes. To stop the violence, the Rapid Action Force, Army, CRPF, Assam Rifles and state police were deployed and a shoot at sight order was issued in extreme cases where other measures have failed. Disturbing footage emerges on social media showing two Kuki women being paraded naked allegedly occurred on this day. Mary Kom, former women's boxing champion, tweeted on the intense situation, "My state is burning, kindly help." June 18. During PM Modi's Mann Ki Baat broadcast, protests erupted in Impal as people expressed disappointment over his silence on the Manipur crisis. July 19. After 79 days, the emergence of a distressing video showing two Kuki women being paraded naked in Kangpokpi district sparks nationwide outrage. One in her 20s were gang raped and her father and younger brother was killed. Allegations surfaced that the police were involved in the incident. Only 7 arrests were made in the case, all after the viral video surfaced, and no action was taken before. Despite the complaint being lodged on 18 May, CM N. Biren Singh said that several such incidents has happened. The state government has completely failed to maintain law and order in the state. The Supreme Court responded within hours after the circulation of the video, warning that the court will intervene if the government act to fail. July 20. After 80 days, PM Modi finally broke his silence and addressed the situation in Manipur, expressing deep sorrow and anger over the incident.
किसी भी गुनहगार को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। कानून अपनी पूरी शक्ति से, पूरी सख्ती से एक के बाद एक कदम उठाएगा। मणिपुर की इन बेटियों के साथ जो हुआ है, इसको कभी माफ नहीं किया जा सकता।
And mainstream Indian media ignored this issue and did this. What should be done to solve the Manipur crisis? As we have seen earlier in history, when the state government fails to act, a president rule is imposed in a state to restore harmony. We have witnessed 10 instances of president rule in Manipur. This crisis could be called for the next president rule. Together, let us envision Manipur where unity trumps over division.